the top 10 of causes of deaths here in Uganda, and actually to be even more specific, they can even cross to the top 5 causes of deaths here in Uganda. So these road traffic accidents involve very many injuries, and specifically most of the times you have 70% of them being trauma injuries and orthopedic injuries that I would say. We have head injuries, we have fractures, we have the lower limb fractures, we have pelvic fractures, we have upper limb fractures, we have dislocations, and also we have so many things like head injuries and so on. Every day, our facilities, actually the emergency centers or the casualty wards at the regional referrals and even the national referral here in Mulago receive dozens of people who have got into accidents and they're having the trauma injuries. We receive many of them, and actually you find that, Mr. Kamara, 40 to 50% of these injuries are contributed to by use of border borders alone are contributing around 40 to 50% of these injuries. The rest are contributed by, of course, maybe car accidents, etc and etc. In most of the cases, whenever you hear the word fracture in an emergency ward, 9 out of 10 of the times it is from a road traffic accident. So this shows you that we are losing a very youthful age of people. Actually, between 15 to 40, these are the most people are affected by this, and they are dying in these fractures. So you see that we are losing very many of the young people due to due to the road traffic injuries. So it's a growing burden, and some of its causes that I will dive into is, one, we can start with the discipline of these users of the roads, starting with the drivers, to the passengers, to the pedestrians. If I go to the drivers, we have issues to do with overspeeding. You know, people love to speed a lot. Both the border people, and also the car driving people. We have issues to do with discipline. For example, people are driving when they are drunk. We are going into this festive season and people go on and booze themselves, and after they come and drive. This is causing a lot of these traffic accidents, especially this festive season. We have issues to do with neglect of protective gear. People are no longer putting on the seat belts. These people are driving on these roads. People are using borders are not putting on the helmets. We shall arrive into why they need to put on these helmets, why you need to put on that seat belt, and so on. Even the enforcement of these laws that are already in place, the traffic laws, is also a growing concern. Of course, you know the things that are happening in the enforcement of these laws. So as well, now if you come back to the passengers, you know, passengers also believe it's not their role to put on the helmets. They believe if the driver is putting on for them, they should not put on. And at the end of the day, this driver is safe, but you, the passenger, you're losing it out. If we go to these other, maybe other causes could be, of course, the roads, poor roads, the potholes, we can't deny them out, and even the increased number of traffic flow on these roads when they are small and so on. So there are a lot of causes of these road traffic or common injuries that we are getting in these on the roads. And the good news is that most of them are preventable. It's just a mechanism of how people should follow this life, and how they should follow when they are driving or when they are moving on these roads, that we shall drive into later on, how they can prevent these road traffic accidents and how we can prevent the injuries. So I'll be taking you through what should people do when they get these injuries, the nearby standards, and what also may be the precautions that they should be taken to make sure these injuries don't exaggerate or don't worsen, and etc. Yes.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Fad. And of course, we know that accidents are part of the non-communicable diseases that we should not neglect. And of course, just like he said, dozens of people who succumb to accidents. Just here in Mulago, when you visit there, you feel very traumatized and you fear the road. Actually, you can even fear traveling. But by grace of God, we say, yes, I'm going, and you move. But it's very important for us to know some of the best ways to protect ourselves from these common injuries that happen to us. Now, as an orthopedic officer, what are some of the common accidents that have resulted
in these injuries?
Yes.
The common ones that we normally receive are fractures, upper limb fractures, both maybe the break of these bones in the hand and arm, We've received lower limb fractures, the leg, open fractures that are, the blood is coming out and so the bone is already out, dislocations, hip dislocations, ankle dislocations, and etc. We have got head injuries also are coming on these trauma wards. They're also very, very common. We have chest trauma, especially those who are driving in cars. The normal report is chest trauma. We have spinal injuries, and they're very, very, very nasty. The spinal injuries, both cervical, lumbar, and etc. As well, we have what else? We have so many injuries, and these injuries can lead to death most of the times, and also lifetime disability if they are not treated well.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And of course, we'd like to ask you to visit our social media platforms, ask important questions that are relevant to this discussion so that we can engage you and fully understand what is your opinion about road traffic accidents. Now, Mr. Fahad,
yes,
quickly take us through some of the preventative strategies so that we can know, rarely the people are going for holidays, who know people are going up country, first talk to them about the road traffic accidents.
Yes. So after us knowing the burden of these road traffic accidents and what they can do onto the family, onto your sources of income that you will be sitting down, some of them need very much time to recover, physiotherapy and so on and etc. We should find the mechanisms of how we can prevent them. And most of them are preventable. I'll start with a very simple one, the protective gears. Today we're talking about helmets, we're talking about seat belts and etc. For example, the helmets. These helmets will prevent around 50% of the head injuries, because once your head lands on the ground, they shall have brain concussions and so on and so on. But this helmet will reduce the impact of that force, so it will hinder or prevent more damage to the skull and even the brain at large. Then also, if you look at seat belts, they prevent you from moving out of this car. For example, if you have crashed into another car, moving out of that car, you know, of course, we have the airbags, but airbags alone cannot manage or prevent you from getting out of this car. And they will prevent issues like chest trauma injuries and also the spine injuries. After those maybe protective gear, of course, we need to follow the guidelines on the road. We need to drive carefully. You need to drive when you're sober enough. Don't drink and drive. Don't overspeed, don't overload. Those who are going to the village, you park around 15 people in a small car, you're taking them to Mbarara. Of course, you shall have issues there. Or still another way how we should prevent these injuries is by enforcing these laws. That is to the government and to the police, maybe enforcing these laws of traffic. For example, you should be checking on the people how they are speeding. Check on them if someone is drunk or not, etc. Permits, servicing the car. Those who are traveling to the villages, please take it upon you to go and service that car. You can repair a car, but you can't repair life. Once life is gone, it will be gone. So before life goes, please go ahead and look at your vehicle. Make sure you have service of it. Make sure it is in good condition of traveling those long distances. It is then to our passengers, always follow the roads. Don't assume that whoever is on that road, you're all understanding the same or you're all sober. Take it that I'm the only right person who is on this road. So drive accordingly. To our border riders, please and please, these are the people who are causing most of these road traffic accidents. Please drive responsibly. Don't just pass anywhere. You know, speed is very good. You feel good when you're speeding, but you lose a life. And what I can assure you is that, for example, these protective gears and helmet is just cheap. And it's less cheap compared to a night in ICU. So you choose one. So either you overspeed and spend a night in ICU and you'll spend millions, or you buy this helmet or seat belt and put it on, please. So that is it to the road users, to the drivers, and to the enforcers of these laws. Some of those mechanisms that we can use to prevent those road traffic accidents. Let us have the signposts on the roads, the humps where we need to have humps, please and please, because we receive very many cases of these trauma injuries, especially in this festive period. If you have got where to drink from and you need to go from there, please call someone who has not been with you to pick you up, take you, so that you're safe and we all enjoy the holidays and come to next year when you're happily alive. That's what I would say. about the prevention.
Now, my question again to you is, what have the health workers done?
Health workers.
Yes, prevent these injuries, because you know, when the number is tolling up, we are only putting the blame to the drivers, the passengers, but also to the government. What's your role in this?
Now, our role in the prevention, it would be one, sensitization, but most of the times you find that health workers, our role comes after at least the injury has happened, and most of the times we prevent further, because prevention is in terms, we have primary, secondary. Now ours is in the tertiary part of it, of preventing these injuries when they have come. So I would say the health workers also have a role in that we need to do the first-hand management of these injuries. But if you'd allow me, I take you back to what the primary preventers, for example, on a scene should do to these people who are there when the injury is happening. For example, someone has got an accident. What should be done? For example, someone is moving and they're knocked down by a car. Some of the things you should ensure, one, the bystanders, you should ensure safety. So you ensure safety of you and the person who is having the injury. What do I mean? Don't just go to remove this person, yet the more cars are still coming. So before you run to save this one, make sure you're also safe. It could be a fire outbreak, it could be anything. So you ensure your safety first. After you ensuring your safety, of course, call these emergency medical services, ambulances from the regional referrals or district referrals or any other nearby hospital that is around. Secondly, do not attempt to transfer these people unless when there's too much danger that you need to take out this person from the spot where they've got the accident from to somewhere else. But if that's not the case, please prevent these transportations. The other thing is that do not give these people food or water. They normally ask for food or water. I've seen this meme moving around, don't give accident for water. Please, it is very true. Don't attempt to give them food or water, because I'll not take into the mechanism of why they need so much water, why they're asking for water, but we should not give them that water, and we avoid transportation. Now, you may intend to save someone, but the mode of transportation may harm this person more. For example, if you suspect someone has maybe a neck injury, omuntu agudde akubyewo omulabi akubyewo omutwe amagulu tasobola gatambuza ate omusitudde omutadde ku border, you've put that person on a border, and the injury is going to worsen. For example, if it was a spinal injury, so at least you wait for these emergency people to come and they work on it. So that's when I bring in the health workers that Mr. Kamara is talking about. Our role is to be critical in whenever we are called up. You and I know that we have what we call the golden hour. The first hour when someone has received an accident that determines whether this person is going to survive or they're going to die. So we work within the golden hour. Once we miss out anything in that golden hour, we shall miss out. So once you're called in, and maybe as a health team, as a health worker, please don't ask where is the money, where can we start from, what. First save this person's life by maybe you know how to follow it, the airway, breathing and so on. We stop bleeding, maybe if there's bleeding, by applying direct pressure. That can even be done at the scene itself, of course. Then you prepare on how to transport this patient and to the facility. Then once they arrive on the facility, we shall be able now to intervene more medically or professionally so that we save the life of this person if you are suspecting any given injuries, and we shall carry out the necessary investigations furthermore and try to stabilize this patient or this given person.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kavuma. We are still discussing about the road traffic accidents and exploring the common injuries and how best, of course, to avoid them this festive season. Remember that your safety, just like, is very important. If you're not safe, you're not healthy. And just like exploring measures and preventative strategies to make sure you are safe as you travel from Kampala to Lira to Kitugum, you know, to Adjumani, and everywhere, including Kabale, among other places, we have to give you the tips to ensure that you are very safe. Before we put the blame to the drivers, let's talk about the passengers ourselves. What have we done? How cautious have we been? Don't usually see the cars that are in bad mechanical conditions. Mr. Kavuma, talk to us about the passenger side. Now, passengers must be very critical in such season.
Exactly. We've talked about the drivers, the border riders, but we've ignored the passengers. The first thing that the passengers should do, please be very critical and very, very careful about what mode of transport you're using. If you're going to use a boda boda, check the type of boda boda person who's going to ride you, and check the condition of the bike this person is going to use. Like, for example, Msao Kamara, how would someone sit on a boda boda that has no side mirrors? And you're going to use a northern highway, for example, like the northern bypass. Someone has no side mirrors. You clearly see this person, his tires are worn off. You clearly see this person, even by just a mere greeting this person, the smell that is coming out, this person is already drunk. And you're entrusting this person to drive you. Of course, we are Christians and Muslims, we believe in God, but at least even after our belief and faith, we need to add on extra care. So that is, you should be, the first step is being very cautious about what mode of transport you're using and the nature. For example, if they are the cars, you're using a taxi, someone is over speeding and you're all quiet. Someone is driving you in a bus and the person is on the phone, they are on a call, they are even doing certain other things, and all the people in the bus are quiet and they are sleeping. Please stop that person, report that person, move out of that vehicle. They will not stop you from moving out. At least save your life. For me, I usually tell people that at least I rather arrive late than arriving very early in a casualty ward. Because you want to arrive very fast and you arrive very early on our beds in the casualty, and for us, we shall be there waiting for you. So you should be very cautious. The passengers. These helmets are not only for the drivers. You passengers should have helmets also. You can buy them. There are some of them are cheap. If these boda riders cannot afford them or because of expense and so on, you can have yours and put it on. It's no harm of you having a helmet, because for him he's protected and he's driving carelessly, and for you are not protected and you're enjoying. You're sitting in a car, the driver is putting on a seatbelt, but the passenger is not putting on a seatbelt. Some of you are driving children. They are going on jumping and jumping in the car. You have not put seatbelts on them. The children should be given more extra care when we are transporting them, Sawa Kamara. In that these babies, you should have special arrangement when you're transporting them so that they are kept very firm in their chairs. Not you driving and the child is up and down, up and down. In case you apply instant brakes, this child will move out of that window and it will be a different case. So you should be able to be very cautious to our passengers. That's the only thing that we can mostly ask from you. Being cautious and taking care. Look at the nature of the machine, the nature of the car you're going to drive, they're going to drive you in, the nature of the boda, and the person who is driving you. Their qualification. You may not ask for the permit, but you look at someone and you really see how that person has arrived to take you. Maybe if it is a boda rider, someone comes and they drift to park where you are when they are going to take you, and also you sit. Hey, anakuba enchungwa anawa katsule. Apply gear number 1. Yes, I don't know senior going jagala. Hey, my friend, you'll end up with these injuries that we are talking about, and it will not be very good to you, both health-wise, emotional-wise, and financially. It will not be very easy to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fahad. And of course, we are still talking about the traffic accidents, especially when it comes to holidays, because everyone is traveling everywhere. Now, we talked about bad roads.
Yes.
Give a highlight about bad roads and healthcare service delivery.
Bad roads. Now, these bad roads are not only causing these road traffic accidents, but they're also delaying the emergency systems that we call in when someone has got these injuries. So it's very, very deadly. I mean, for example, we call upon these leaders, our leaders, they're both on local government and the central government, to at least in this festive season, at least they make sure at least these roads are somehow better. They can pass some graders in South Camera, so that these people also apply some humps in these roads. So roads are bad, and most of these roads don't end up being bad. Rather, they're also small in size, maybe in the width, and they're also full of potholes. So someone is driving and they are shaking. So someone may be trying to dodge a pothole and they end up crashing with the other person who is on the other hand. So really, the state of affairs of these roads does not only cause these accidents, but also, for example, if the road is poor, there is a lot of traffic flow, and you have called in the ambulances to come and maybe take people who have gotten these injuries. The ambulances will arrive late, and also delay, and we shall exceed our golden hour that we talked about, in which someone is supposed to either be saved or we prepare a funeral for that person. So that's the degree or the nature of what bad roads can do to this community. So we call upon just the government and these other people, our leaders, to look into that matter very seriously, and we work something around it.
Now, thank you so much, dear viewers of Google Data Vision Health and Beauty Program. From wherever you are watching us from, we know you are live there on the social media platforms, Google Data Vision, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. And you can go ahead and share your opinions, your comments about traffic accidents so that we can learn from your side. I usually want to hear, this is not a one conversation on Google Data TV, rather it's a conversation between you, the viewer, and us here. And we'll go for a short quick break, but when we return, we shall discuss more of how best to prevent ourselves and be safer in this holiday. See you shortly.
December, you crossover night. Fena tukungane kufurugoswa chache makerere. Twebaze katondo olw'omwaka guno. Era twanirize 2025. Mumanyi ag'okusinza, okutendereza ekigambo kya Katonda okuva eri Pastor Fred Wantante n'abaweereza abalala. Era tusubwa omuyimbi E. Daniels okuva Nigeria ne Pastor Brian Lubega, Quiz Godfrey, John Mary, bona kusitajemu nga 3 December ku Full Gospel Church Makerere mu crossover night. Emiryango gikulwa saa 8 ez'emisana okuyingira kwa bwerere. Zambia Zambalam, Zambia Zambolingo.
Wayagala ebyuma ebirungi ebyogera Pasita Pasiteri atunda nange ngoma ne gita zonna Pasita Pasiteri amplifier n'emizindalo Pasita Pasiteri ebitala bya stage ebyebika byonna Pasita Pasiteri ebyuma bya Ivetsi tubirina byonna Pasita Pasiteri awududo wa screen tupangisa Pasita Pasiteri kukizimbe kya Newmark William Street Pasita Pasiteri katindo kendayo musajja mwesigwa kituufu endo gye gisoboka ekibanja mpola akikwata wakulebye ekkanisa jangu ewa Pasita Pasiteri
tusangibwa ku kizimbe kya Newmark ku William Street ku ground floor room number N31 opposite DFCU Bank. Esimu noti 782 00 84 ne noti 752 00 84 wano wokka we tusangibwa.
Again, I want to thank you for watching Good Data Vision from across the country, and just know that this very 31st of December 2025 should be a mega crossover night here at Makerere Full Gospel Church at Sapporo Kagwa Road here. Of course, we want to invite you to come and experience the Holy Spirit so that you enter 2026 in a style so that you can never be left the same, because God is here and is going to work around your life. And if you're single, please just know your miracle husband is here. And so much more. Just know I love being single, and I know our issues, but God is present here. Come and you never go back the same, and 2026 will be a different year from your years that you've been having. We are still talking about the best ways to make sure that you are very safe and healthy in this festive season with Mr. Kavuma. He's an orthopedic officer with experience of dealing with people with bone issues and challenges, and we are trying to explore different conditions that can result if we become reckless, the drivers, the passengers, but also our roads. That means that it is a multifactorial issue around accidents. And now we want to explore a few solutions to make sure that we are all kept safe and healthy. Mr. Fahad,
yes,
quickly give us a few solutions to mitigate the rising of the road traffic accidents.
Yes, the solutions that we shall take home, one, to our road users, to the drivers, tukuume empisa nga tuli ku luguudo. I don't know if Luganda is okay.
It's okay, please use Luganda actually.
Tukuume empisa nga tuli ku luguudo. Tubeere nga tuvugisa kimama, tuvugise speed ensamusaamu, abantu bavuge nga tubeegendereza kuba munnaye bovuga mulimu n'abantu bo. Tubeere nga twewala okunywa n'ovuga, tonywa n'ovuga nga campaign eyo weegamba. Tubeere nga tukuuma empisa, speed tuzigoberere, tusome obupande, woyina okusibasiba ku bitaala, woyina ovuga speed oba ya 3 oba ya 4 gy'oba ovuga, tosussaawo okulaba nti ovuga endiima, kuba abantu bano bootwala balina obuvunaanyizibwa ddala eri aba famire yaabwe n'eggwanga okutwaliza awamu. Eri abakwasa amateeka tusaba okubanga mu kaseera nga kano tusuubira okuba nti omujjuzo gujja kuba mungi ku nguudo. Tubasaba okubanga bongera abakwasa amateeka gano ag'ebidduka, oba abapoliisi okubanga babeera beyongerako okubeera vigilant, okulaba nga tukendeeza ku bantu abayinza okuvugisa ekimama oba basobola okuvuga mu ngeri etali nnungi. So enforcement ebeere nga yeeyongeramu n'okubanga tuteekawo embeera okulaba nga amateeka gano gagobererwa nga gonna we galina okubeera. Eri still kiri eri government okulaba nga tukubiriza abantu bano, tubakubirira omulanga era okulaba nga basomesebwa ku nkozesa y'enguudo ennungi, abavuga be bavuga n'abasigadde bonna okulaba nga amateeka gano gagobererwa bulungi. Then okubasomesa singa omuntu aba afunye obubenje buneeno, abantu bano balina kweyisa mu ngeri etya okulaba nga ekintu obulabe bafunye tebweyongerayo. Tusobola okwongezaako ne ku tereza ku nguudo zaffe kuzirimamu, okugyamu ebyo ebinnyo okubizibikira potholes ezo, kuba nazo ziyinza okwongeza accidents ez'amaanyi. Okulaba nga abantu bagenda eri gye mateeka gye basomeseza oba okuvuga emmotoka oba okukwasa amateeka g'oku luguudo, abantu bongere okuba nga bagekkaanya. Kati eri ku sayidi yaffe ey'abasawo okulaba nga amalwaliro ganeera abantu bano gye batuukira nga bafunye obubenje bano, services oba abantu abalina bakolako nga weebali. For example, abasawo okulaba nga ffe tutera genda mu holiday, so abasawo okulaba nga weebali okulaba nga bareceiving abantu bano singa babeera bafunye obubenje. Ebikozesebwa ogeza nga zi protective gears, malwaliro gano aga government, gloves, kanula, biki ebyetaagisa okuba nga omuntu yeekuuma. Eri abasawo okulaba nga beekuuma, then ebyetaagisa okulaba nga omuntu ajjanjabwa. Then amalagala agasookerwako, what we call the essential emergency drugs, okulaba nga nazo zibeerawo in place, either omuntu singa abazze tetusobola kuluzinga muntu mu first gye twayise golden hour olw'ensonga nti tasobodde kufuna ddagala lyetaagisa. N'abasawo mbakubira omulanga okulaba nga tebeeganya n'okulaba nga batuukira mu budde n'ogezaako okudduukirira abantu baneeno okulaba nga bafuna obujjanjabi obulungi. Okwongeza ku zi ambulances zineeno ku malwaliro eri gavumenti eri abakulembeze baffe okulaba nga zisobola okuba nga ziwerako. Obiseera ebisinga obubenje bumanyi okugwa mu makubo agamu naddala zi high routes oba zi highway, n'osanga eddwaliro liri overwhelmed because a numbers nene, admission beds ntono, and we failed, even the staff tebamala ne bafailinga okuba nga abantu babawa obujjanjabi obusooka. Eri abantu baffe aba bulijjo okulaba nga singa omuntu aba yafunye akabenje, omuntu yimiriza byonna by'obadde okola. Okutomerera omuntu n'odduka n'otambula sigamba nti oba ofuuse mugezi nnyo oba ofunyeemu nnyo. Saba tubeere ffenna nga tulina obuntu. Omuntu oba omutomedde tukkiriza accident ebadde uyimirira mumudduukirire muyambe omuntu wabanga afunye bleeding to stopping oku bleeding okuteekako pressure sobola ofuna ekigoye abantu baffe abawansi sobola ofuna ekigoye n'oteeka omuntu wali okuva omusaayi omuntu olaba nga oba olulimi lulinganga oluguddeyo sobola kulugjayo ne tulaba nga tucompromisinga airway ya muntu ono singa olaba nga omuntu amenyese mwine engeri yaffe gye mumanyi obulungi ojosa oteekako obuti ekigere ekyo ne mukikumbira mu position emu then n'entambuza y'ono omuntu singa olaba nga omuntu afunye akabenje wale nnyo okubanga omusuukunda omukyusa omuzeeno omuzeeri n'okubatambuliza ku booda nga oli ava kufuna akabenje amenyese oyongezaako oluusi ku impact eno oba ku injury so oluusi senga wabanga basobodde okubaawo emmotoka oba ambulance tusaba abantu abo batambulize ebyo ebidduka kuba booda okumuteekako okutuula oluusi waba afunye injuries enzibu nga spinal injuries zitera okulaba nga zicomplicating olw'engeri gy'omutambuzaamu so no supportingako n'omutwe guno eno n'ensingo eno okulaba nga ensingo oba omutwe singa omuntu aba afunye kituyita neck injury titabeera na compromise yonna mu kussa awamu n'okubanga especially mu kussa kwembadde ensinga okwogerako eri nozangezaako okutangaza ku ngeri solutions ezenjawulo zisobola okukolebwa okulaba nga twetangira obubenje buno okuva ku mateeka okudda ku basawo kye balina okukola okudda ku bantu wa bulijjo n'abanyonyodde we have to be very careful twegendereze ekikolwa ekidduka ky'olinnya g'omuntu gwagenda okuvuga ali atya omuntu ali kuvuga eno ali kulya eno ali ku ssimu ye muyimirize omugambe ssebo gundi buno obulamu bwaffe bw'ozannyirako sabooterere oba tosobola tuvuga tukomye wano eno omuntu omulala ajja atutwale naye temunyumirwa bunyumizi wadde okwebaka oyinza ozuukuka waliwo yagamba nti may wake up when you are dead so simanyi whether you can wake up when you are dead but oyinza okwekanga nga wafudde dda so tubeere begendereza tubeere very cautious mu kaseera nga kano okulaba nga obulamu tubutwalira ddala nga obw'amakulu.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kavuma. And of course, we've been exploring different, about road traffic accidents. But also, I wanted us to rally the public about their prevention. Road traffic accidents still carry a big percentage in the death. Yes, I'll repeat this over time because the moment we realize this, we shall reduce the burden of hospitalization to this.
Yes, to the prevention, after us talking about what we do when the accidents have happened, the prevention still one discipline of users and for example, the drivers and the passengers. Don't drink and drive, don't overspeed, don't overload, look left and right before crossing the roads. Ako tukamanyi fenna nti at least owosa oluguudo tunula eno n'eno tosala oluguudo ng'oli ku simu. Nnaku zino tujjiddwa tekinologiya omuntu asala oluguudo ng'atadde airpods matu bamukubira eŋŋombe tawulira olina agezaako okusiba ne kigaana n'olwekyo oba osala oluguudo kitwale nti oli ku bulamu bwo bw'oli okutambuza tomala gasala tunula eno n'eno tomanya muntu avuga abadde ki muntu ayinza okuba amukubidde essimu omwana we mulwadde ali kuvuga speed ya yiriiri kulaba nga addusa mwana we mu ddwaliro tokitwala nti nno omuntu ali eri akulaba n'olwekyo tubeere nga twegendeza nga tusala oluguudo. More of these zebra crossings should be put on these roads and they should be respected by these drivers. For example, for our children who are crossing these roads, parents balina okubeera nga bali very vigilant. We don't receive very many children on our wards and the child was crossing the road alone. This is a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6 or 10 and they are crossing the road alone. Omuzadde aliwa bakubira oli mu kisenge nti omwana wuno emmotoka emukubira dda owadde omutumye essukaali. Don't send such a child to a busy road in this festive season or even after the festive season. So accidents is the most preventative way is discipline and also enforcing these policies. Government zebetaddewo okulaba nga abantu balina zigoberera then n'abamateeka balina okulaba nga bazisa mu nkola then eriffe aba health workers oba abasawo for us to prevent them from escalating oba tuzi preventing okubanga tezeyongera omuntu afuna waba afunye accident nafuna injury eyo tumukolako mangu olaba nti injury gyafunye teyeyongerayo nnyo. So discipline policies government okubeera nga eri serious let us muntu bana abantu abazize emisango girino bati olaba nga tuba fininga they be handled by the law so that omuntu akimanya nti no I'm driving at this but I have to pay cost of this at the end of the day, so they will be more cautious about it. Then to the government still how we can prevent this is sensitization, continuous sensitization. Chituliko waneno msawo kamara ne ku radios ezenjawulo ne ku ma TV agenjawulo kulaba nga abantu bajjukiza engeri balina okweyisaamu ku luguudo, engeri balina okubeeramu singa muntu aba afunye akabenje waje batwala abantu bano. Take these people to the right places. Omuntu afunye akabenje omusitudde omuzizza waka. Please visit a medical facility. You may end up with a blood clot gy'otamanyi. Oyinza ending up ne fracture very bad gy'otamanyi. Any bleeding omuntu gy'atamanyi. Nagamba ate yadde mulamu ate olamaze n'akutuka n'agwere because that person may have sustained in bleeding, maybe due to pelvic fracture and so on. So okulaba nga badduka nga bateeka amalwaliro n'amalwaliro gano ogenforcinga mo staffing ebintu okulaba nga gyebiri oxygen gyali ebitanda gyebiri so that enamba zino ziba zizze tusobola okuba nga tuzihandlinga here and there, but the take home is discipline on the road is the best way how we can prevent these road traffic accidents.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kavuma. And of course, now I would like to explore the public on where to go when these injuries have happened. For example, if you're on Guru Highway, if you're everywhere, if you're going to Kabale and different parts of the country, where should you go very fast? He has talked about making sure you go to the hospitals. Do not take these casualties at your home because they are still talking and walking. It does not mean they are healthy. Where should they go and why should they go? First aid can be given anywhere because first aid is given, it's an emergency. You can give first aid, but then after first aid, where should they go? When after giving them first aid, make sure they go to a medical facility. It can be a private facility, maybe a medical center, maybe it can be a hospital. To those, the government has very many regional and district hospitals on these different routes of the country. The nationals, if you're on eastern route, you have the Mbale, you have Jinja, you have Iganga, and so on. And once they arrive there, they will arrive to the casualty departments. Take that patient to the casualty, inform these people this person has got this accident and so on. The health workers will be there to receive those patients and so on and take care of them and do the necessary engagement and treatment that these people need. So they should take them to hospitals. Don't take these people home. Don't take them to before you bring these people to church here to pray for them, you must make sure they have received first aid and some medical attendance. Then you can bring them and you pray for them here, isn't it, Mr. Okamara? But yes, we first need to take them to the hospitals. They get the medical treatment, and when you take them to hospitals, you go to the casualty or what we call the trauma wards or trauma centers. They will help them out in Mlago, in Kawempe, Chirudu, anywhere in these government hospitals and regional referral hospitals. That's where they should take those patients, not anywhere else. Yeah. Now, thank you so much for being a good viewer of Google Data Vision, and wherever you've been watching us from, we are so grateful and we want to say thank you. And of course, prepare you for Christmas and inspire you to eat with your family. Make sure you join up your family wherever they are so that you do not enjoy this festive season alone. But most importantly is that this Christmas is more of salvation. Let's turn back to God and we enjoy this festive season together. And of course, we'd once again to invite you to our social media platforms. Make sure you go there, you learn more about these health conditions. And of course, as we intend to wrap up this very year, I want to ask you that you should know that this health program is meant to educate you so that you can prevent the disease prevalence in the country. Remember, 75% of the diseases in this country are preventable, and road traffic accidents are number one. And yes, we are doing it here to make sure you can prevent yourself from getting this. And of course, without actually leaving this behind once again, 31st of December, this very important month, here at Makerere Gospel Church, Sapro Kagwa Road, we shall be having a crossover night. Come, please, come and spend this night in the presence of God. Mr. Fahad, kindly give us the conclusive remarks about this very important discussion on preventing ourselves from getting these injuries. And we did not explore how big the magnitude is and how best we can prevent, how big the problem is when it comes to household expenditure. Looks like bonds are expensive to replace, put those things You should have brought the money. You know, economy.
That is true. The government has tried to subsidize here and there. However, I would begin on the burden, then I will give the closing remarks maybe. On the burden of these road traffic accidents, the first burden I've talked about that is that they contribute, actually they are in the top 5 causes of death, and death is okufa to you viewers. Okufa in this country, Uganda. Mu gwanga lino ya Uganda contributing at least biri bintu ebitano ebyeta abantu okufa. So you can imagine the burden that we have, and on a day we receive dozens of these patients, of people who have got into road traffic accidents with fractures and so on in our emergency units, in our trauma units, and most of them are sometimes between 15 to 40, because the males most times are affected in these road traffic accidents because they drive these borders, they drive these cars, they're up and down and so on. So it is really a growing burden, and the good news is that road traffic accidents are not just sudden happenings. They can also be prevented. It just takes your own discipline on the road. It takes you to be very cautious and employing and also enforcing these road traffic laws in the country, so that these people can follow them and they can prevent these road traffic accidents. So to our countrymen and women, bakadde baffe, banyinaffe, we are just begging you, we are asking you to be very cautious while using those roads. Take care of who is driving you, take care of the vehicle status they are driving you in, take care of the roads you're using, and also be extra cautious on how you are driven and how you dress. So putting on that helmet, putting on that seat belt, and also these other protective gears are for your own good, and they are less costly compared to treating or managing these fractures. So Kamara was talking about the prices. It is sometimes these accidents can cause you lifetime disability. They chop off that leg of yours, which they take off the arm, they take off, and so on. And even just managing and treating these fractures, some of them need surgeries, which surgeries are in millions. And I don't know whether how many families here in Uganda can afford millions. So before your care is on the road, remember, you're not financially well, at least. So to save your money, to save your time, the time you are going to take in rehabilitation and in physiotherapy, please just be cautious and have good discipline, then we shall prevent the rest. So it is very costly. If I'm to conclude, it's very costly to manage these injuries. That's why most of the times you call on the government to at least make sure they provide these emergency drugs, some of these things needed to manage these injuries when they come in place, so that we try to subsidize the costs and so on. But you know, our country is still developing, so you never know where you land and where the accident has found you, whether that medical center or that hospital can manage such a given injury. So in conclusion, I call upon the public to just be very cautious and take good discipline while using these roads. And so on to the health workers, please be available this festive season to handle those cases, and please bring those injuries to us when you get them, so that we can manage them well and you survive very well. Thank you very much for listening and viewing us. Yes.
Thank you so much for being part of Google Data Vision since when this program started till this very important closure. And this is a festive season. You would want actually to wish you Merry Christmas, empower you, explore you, and inspire you to make sure you eat healthy once again. Make sure that your mouth is respected, because your mouth is power. Whereas you prevent the road traffic accidents, you can have actually the non-communicable disease develop in your body. So these things work together, you know. You cannot walk alone, and you never walk alone. So just know that we are here to instill the health habits to you everywhere you are. I am Kamara Daniel, the presenter for Health and Beauty program, here at Google Data Vision every Wednesday at 9 p.m. I want to wish you Merry Christmas, but ask you to prevent yourself from getting all these non-communicable diseases. Be healthy, promote self-care, make sure you love yourself, and do things that promote self-care around yourself. I hope to see you next week, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Bye-bye.